Okay, welcome everyone. This is the nichebot live call-in show. This is the place where you get the intervention you need to blow right past those those obstacles that stand in your way. And we can do those sometimes with content being our articles. So let's go ahead and I'm your host and founder of nichebot since 2004. And let me tell you real quickly why I created the show for gold and platinum users. Now, people tend to blow right past the quick start guide. That is really the foundation and talks about some important concepts that you need in order to succeed online. It doesn't just end with keyword research. You've got to be able to do something with the keywords that you collect at nichebot. And we go into some detail there in the quick start guide that helps you figure out what you need to do thereafter and how to build pages. Now the content here is customized towards you every week rather than stuff just being thrown at you, so your interaction and your involvement and engagement is absolutely necessary. And this show really is about getting clarity and having breakthroughs, because unfortunately we end up creating concepts about the online world that aren't necessarily true, or we picked up information from others that necessarily is sort of a half-truth. And you know, this stuff does take work. It took me 4 years of struggling to get where I was, to finally get some clarity on exactly what I'm doing, what I was doing to gain presence, and what I was doing to gain traffic. Now, breakthroughs come with repeated exposure to using techniques that work. Unfortunately, too many people will start doing a technique and then they try it 3 or 4 times and automatically assume it doesn't work. And this is the biggest problem with most entrepreneurs and small businesses online, is that they are constantly trying new things and never actually mastering any of them. And that's what that's what we want to try to impress upon everyone. Now, there will be a replay of this show from the live show directory at nichebot.com/live show as soon as this is over and produced and we get it online. Now, you should share in my epiphany. And my epiphany came in 2004 when discovering the power of backlinks. And that means using the keyword phrase in your hyperlink. Now, how exactly are we doing that? Well, here's an example on the screen of what a hyperlink looks like in the HTML. And as you can see, the keyword phrase is used in between the greater than sign here and the less than sign. And this is where you want to put your keyword phrase. The important thing there is that when a search engine spider ends up finding this link on a page, it could be an article directory, it could be a press release directory, it could be on a blog, it could be a number of places, and when a search engine spider finds a link that is pointing at your site, it will read this word or the keyword phrase, and it will then start ranking your web page, that is this URL that is right here. It will start ranking that web page according to this keyword phrase. This is when you get these links outside of your site pointing into your site, it's almost like a vote that says to Google that you are popular, that your particular web page here is, and this could be not just site.com, it could be, you know, an internal page, but this page is popular on this particular keyword phrase. Now, I use reciprocal linking to get backlinks to nichebot and other sites. And you should find whatever style of inbound links you're looking to do. There's so many different ways out there, and there's an article out on Google called "How to Build Links 2009." Just type that in, and you'll find a couple of articles at the top. One has like 69 ways, and then there's another article that leads you into like another 102 different ways to build links. And now, while it is an article written in 2009, it is actually, a lot of these techniques are still valid today, and it gives you enough choice to be able to choose one particular technique and then start moving on it. Now, one of the things we just skipped right here was getting inbound links always trumps content on your page. While you can tweak the content on your page, you're only going to get a maximum excuse me, you're only going to get a maximum number of points from Google for that particular web page until you need to get what's called off-page factors going, which is getting inbound links. So once you've done all you can to the content on your page and tweaked it as much as you can, that is, tweaking your title tags, your description tags, the body of your content, and throughout, as well as getting maybe some internal links from other pages on your site pointing to that page using the keyword phrase, you're going to have to eventually get inbound links. And that's how a lot of people get to the top of Google and stay at the top, is through getting inbound links. Now, this show is about, like I say, getting clarity and breakthroughs on how to actually do backlinking, how to do your keyword research, and of course how to use nichebot. So the ground rules for the call are, now everyone right now on the line is muted, and but you do have a question and answer box over to the right hand side, and you can ask a question anytime during this webinar through your panel over to the right hand side. Just type live chat in front of the question if you want to interact with me, and that's usually the best way to go, and you need to let me know so that I can go ahead and unmute you. So at this time you need to go ahead and I will go anywhere from about 60 to 90 minutes depending on the number of questions and my energy. This could be a definitely slow day, but live interaction is now going to go ahead and take place, so go ahead and submit your questions now. And I will go ahead and I'll be here for everyone on the line. Some people unfortunately they just like to listen in and see what's going on, and unfortunately I don't recommend that, because I struggled by myself without having a sort of platform like this to be able to interact with others, and it usually ended up costing, back in the days, $100, $200 to interact with anyone, or getting any sort of consulting. And I do normally charge small businesses $250 an hour for my time and $500 for corporations. So you want to make sure to take advantage of this time that we have online together, and go ahead and submit your questions right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn away for a moment and check out something over on my other computer while everyone gathers their questions together and starts submitting them. If we have no questions, we'll close out the show, and we'll see you then next week. Okay, Amanda has a quick question here, and she asks, do all links count? In other words, does every link out there count? And that is a very, very good question. Some links do become more important than others, and what that means is that let's say that, for instance, you have a site on Model T cars, that you're talking about old cars, and the old Model T Fords, and you may be selling like collector's items of different small little 20 scale models of the car for people that collect that type of a car. Now, so say for instance you end up getting a link, or you end up going and approaching a site, say an auto body shop, and you approach the site and you end up getting a content swap, which is basically your agreement with the other website owner to put some content on his site, and he can, of course, you can give him the reciprocation of allowing him to put content on your site. And the agreement would be that you can end up putting, say, 2 or 3 links within the article or content that you end up creating for him, and you want to create some unique content for his site, and you end up linking it to an internal page somewhere on your site, or if you're going to get 2 or 3 links in there, you're going to link have 2 to 3 different pages you're going to link to, and you're going to use 2 to 3 different keyword phrases. So let's say you have an auto body shop site that you ended up contacting. Now, is it going to be as important of a link as if you would end up getting a link or some content to be able to put on someone's site from, say, a model site, which is all about models and car models and basically perfectly related to it. Now, yes, that link is those links are going to count coming from the auto body shop. However, the big problem is that it's not going to be as related as the other car model site that may directly relate to your particular site. So the link is still going to count. So even if you're getting a site from, say, a plumbing site, you're getting a link coming from someone who has a plumbing site. It may be totally off topic, but that link is going to count. It's not going to be as strong as the other more related sites that have to do with automobiles, cars, models, and that sort of thing. But it is going to count. So you don't want to out of hand, discount any links coming in from anywhere. Now, especially even from, say, a plumbing site, because you could be talking about, in the context of a site, of the content you get on that plumbing site, you could end up talking about a story of how you had this really bad plumbing problem, and then you happen to be also working on this one particular Model T car model that you were working on putting together, and you could slip your keyword phrase in there, because the idea is that as long as you can get context around the keyword phrase, that link pointing to your site, you're going to get it's sort of like latent semantic indexing. You're going to be getting related text around that particular keyword phrase that has to do with the theme of your site that the link is pointing back to. So if you have control over the site and the content going on in there, then you definitely still don't want to discount or prejudice any particular site. Even getting directory listings, directory submissions, those still work. You still want to work those angles. You want to be able to get even no-follow links that are coming from blogs, from doing blog commenting. You still want to do those. So even though there's a no-follow, the link is still going to be picked up that has your keyword phrase in it somewhere within either the body of the comment or within the actual hyperlink that's pointing back to your site when you fill out the blog comment form. Same thing goes with forums. Same thing goes with article directories. Even if there's a no follow, most of the time you will get a do follow link, which means that whenever a search engine finds a do follow link, they're going to actually give you credit for that backlink. So do all links count? Yes, they do. Some are more important in the eyes of Google than others. However, you don't want to discount any, because the more links you get on a particular keyword phrase, the higher you will get to the top of the search engine. So I hope that answers your question, Amanda. And any other questions, please get them in before we close out the show. Now, I do want to remind everyone right now, this is not just necessarily a show about how to do website promotion, but it's also about exactly how to use nichebot in the most effective manner possible. So you want to make sure to get your questions in about that, rather than getting them into our support desk. As our support desk, those people are only limited to the training that they've received from me, and not necessarily, it may be a distilled version of that training. So you want to make sure to get your questions in now and get those resolved now, because I am the one who has created nichebot and know it in and out, so I can get you the help that you need. Looking forward to getting everyone's questions. Okay, we've got a question in right now. I received an email that the search engine preference on the profile page, did you get that fixed? Okay. What we've gone ahead and done is that we have eliminated the search engine preferences on the page, because unfortunately Google and Yahoo were giving us negative information that was not coinciding with the actual index itself. So we are now using a hybrid number, which is taking an average of the Google competition as well as the Yahoo competition, and using those, intertwining that with the competition figure that you now get from there. And it seems to be a little bit more accurate, and this is now something, since we have a unified experience rather than having 3 different search engines giving 3 different wrong numbers that don't even coincide with the search engines, because for whatever the reason is, Google, Yahoo, and MSN, they were using basically giving us webmasters and giving us software developers a different index to use with the competition numbers, and it wasn't coinciding from what people were getting at Google.com or Yahoo.com, and the numbers were completely off. So we basically got fed up by the inaccurate information, and we are now using our own competition method of formulating exactly how many different numbers of web pages are actually competing for a particular keyword phrase. So I hope that answers your question on that particular front, Lewis. And any other questions, go ahead and get those in. Big thing is here is, while we have a unified experience, so we have one number. So these numbers are now coming in. The numbers that are now being represented are an average between Yahoo and Google, and what's happening is I can now actually give estimations or give a ballpark figure of where you want to necessarily be for competing for a particular keyword phrase. For instance, if you have a competition of around 500 or less, you're going to be able to compete with that keyword phrase just by putting a a page up. And obviously, if you have 100 or less competition, you're easily going to be able to rank for that keyword phrase. But when you start getting up towards 500, you're going to need to start getting some backlinks to the page so that your rankings climb. Because of course, you're dealing with the number that's being represented is the number of competing web pages that contain the keyword phrase in the title tag. And as we know, web pages in the title tag are usually those web pages that are actually competing to get ranked for a web page. And so we're basically excluding all the other keyword pages, the web pages that actually have just the keyword phrase sprinkled somewhere throughout the body. And so usually when you know someone's got their when you know someone's got their keyword phrase in the title tag of their web page, you know that they're actually focusing on getting ranked for that keyword phrase, and that gives you the actual real competition, and that's the number we're using. Unfortunately, we had so many different variances. We had broad keyword phrase, exact match, in title, and we had in title and in anchor. Now we have just one unified experience. Okay, so we have another question from Lewis, which is, would you explain KEI, and is it a number we can rely on? Well, it's really, all KEI is a formula, and if we go look at it online, we could go do that together. So we'll plug in here KEI formula. So as we can see here, we'll go straight to the Web Pro News, which is a pretty good indicator. And even though this is a 2004 article, it's pretty much relates. And it usually is. This was a formula that was created by an Indian guy. Can't recall his name off the top of the hand, but basically it takes, KEI is, as you can see, the popularity or the search count, so whatever you have as far as a search count, and this was a particular number that was created by WordTracker, for WordTracker specifically. So let's take a look at the formula here, which is P. It's basically P divided by P times 2 divided by S. So, or I should say P. Yeah, it's P divided by S, which is basically the popularity or the search count, divided by S, which is the searches matching all in title, which is what we use, and that's the S, and then we times it times P again, which I don't know if that necessarily makes sense, but so basically it's basically the relation between the matches, how many competition, and then what the search count is that you get from a particular database. Now, the database you use could be WordTracker, it could be Google, it could be Keyword Discovery inside of nichebot. However, so the popularity count is going to vary from database to database. Now, like I said in the beginning, this was a number that was created for WordTracker in particular. So the KEI is going to vary from keyword to keyword phrase based on the database you use, because the popularity or the search count is going to differ all the time. So the one weakness in this formula is it just takes the competition and the popularity search count into, for instance. And it should be, the formula is actually, it's P squared, so you're taking basically P squared, which is the popularity, you're squaring it and then dividing it by the competition. That's the actual formula. I don't know who put this like this. My personal estimation is that it it's a skin deep sort of number. Okay, so when you get the KEI for a particular keyword phrase, it's supposed to show you, or supposed to tell you, oh, this keyword is golden, and basically that you can go after the keyword and go after it without much competition in mind. Obviously, when there's not much competition in mind, your search count is going to be low. Of course, that's not a problem if you're going out and you have the mind to go out and secure the listings for 1,000 of these different types of keywords. That means you're going to have to build either 1,000 different keyword phrases or give backlinks to one particular page for a number of different keywords. But I wouldn't recommend 1,000 different keyword backlinks for different keyword phrases, because you want to make sure to match the page with the actual backlink that you're getting. So would I use the KEI? I have never been a fan of KEI because it is such a skin level deep thing. And if we end up going to nichebot and we end up looking at the actual, we're now in here, and if we look at the analysis tools and we do an SEO stress test and we take a look at let's say baby knitting patterns, and say that's the keyword phrase we're looking at. We're using all countries, all languages, and top 10 results. So this is going to take a while to process because it is gathering so much information. So when you have a keyword phrase that you're interested in, you think it looks like it may be a good KEI, you want to take a look at the top 10 search results. Now, one of the things you could end up doing, and I highly recommend this, is you can always go look at google.com and go baby knitting patterns, okay? And we can see here are the top 10 phrases. Now, one of the plugins that I use for my browser, and I don't use it on this browser because I do the I end up doing the webinars on this one, but I end up using it is a plugin. Give me just one second. Just getting the web address from my other computer. All right. And we want to go to and find the search Quake plugin. And it's SEO Quake. And we go to this, and you'll see that while we do get a lot of information here, and we're going to go through this in just a second, you can get some instant information, and I don't have it installed in Firefox here, but let's go take a look at it. What this plugin allows you to do is it allows you to see a number of different parameters that have to do with the page. And what ends up happening is when you run a search on Google, it ends up overlaying different information, SEO information, important SEO information, and it's typically this kind of information right here. Let's take a look at this. So here we have, every time a search is run, we have the Alexa info that is run all the time here. And as you can see, if you wanted to contact these sites, you have your information right here. Rachel Geller is the site owner of this particular one. About.com obviously is this one. And so you get all the information if it's available through Alexa.com right here as their contact. Now, one of the more important things here is that with this table, we get the Google PageRank information, which is, so that's one of the parameters that you get here with this particular plugin over at SEO Quake. Now this is free. All you need is Firefox, and let's see if I can get this to show us what it looks like. I think they're going to take us through the whole setup process, but I want to show what it looks like. Okay, so here it is. Let's see if we can go to a results page. Maybe it shows us. Guess not. They're not going to show us anything in the results page. However, as you can see here, this is basically kind of the data that it shows. It's not very close up. I was hoping that they were going to have a nope. I was hoping they would have some sort of a but here's all of the different things, all the different it shows you the G trends, the Google Trends by month, and it's got a whole bunch of different data that it shows you, many of which is right here displayed on nichebot. The big problem sometimes is when you have this plugin, it does a search on all of these different sites and it overlays the information right underneath all of the critical and data information, like, you know, how old is the domain. Let's see, here's the age of the domain. You can see right here 13.4 years is this top result. The other one is 5.7 years. There's another one that is just brand new. The other one is 5.5 years, 4.5 years, 8.4 years. So these domains for this particular keyword phrase are pretty well aged. That pretty much tells us that getting into baby knitting patterns is going to be a little bit difficult at first. We're going to have to do some work. We're going to have to do some backlinking. Okay, we can see the backlinks to the Alexa backlinks that Alexa has recorded, and these are usually significantly lower. You'll see here's the backlinks to the page. As you can see, these backlinks, this one has 7550 backlinks to the pages, 487 for this one, 189. Here's one with only 7, so that gives us a little bit of hope. Then 98 to this one, 8140 for that one, and 1270. That means there are, you know, 8,000 pages that are sending a backlink to this particular page. 98 backlinks going to that page. Now, it may not be necessarily using baby knitting patterns as the keyword phrase, but that means that it could be a little bit tough to get this page ranked up in the top for Google.com. The other things we want to take a look at is the website that is listed at the top of Google, is it in the DMOZ directory? No. No. Yes, it is here. No. Yes, it is here. The same. Actually, it looks like. Oh no, it's not the same page. But see, these two right here, 3 and 4, are the same web page, so it's going to have the same data all the way across. So yes, they are in DMOZ. Yes, they are. And if you're unfamiliar with what DMOZ is, take a look here. All this is a simple directory, and it's a human-edited directory. Okay, they have a way to become an editor. Don't necessarily recommend that. But as you can see, everything here is split up into categories. So Google highly regards this. As you can see, this is a PageRank 8 of 10, and Alexa ranks this as a 540 on the scale of traffic, which means it's the 540th most visited site on the internet. Now I want you to take a look at things here as you go. We'll go into arts, and as you can see, there are categories. See, we go from top-level categories like arts, movie, television is a subcategory. We go into more the subtopics. Now, if we go into, say, art history, you'll see we even get further more subtopic areas like art historians, online courses, artists, chats and forums, directories. So this is a great place you can do actual you can actually do some good research here to find forums for any particular topic in your niche, to find places where you can connect with others and find where the traffic is, because usually where the traffic is where people are gathered, like in chats and forums and blogs and such like that. So it's very important to understand even this directory when you're organizing your content on your site. You want to take a look at these topics. So if you have a site that's on movies, you can see that these are all the different subcategories that there are in movies that you can break up your site navigation to, doing reviews, quotations, producers. So the reason being is that Google highly admires this directory and the way it's structured. And if you can structure your content in such a way, in this sort of top level way, and then subdividing it into your subtopics and organizing your content that way, so that, you know, as someone's moving through your site, they're moving into deeper and deeper information that they want. So so this is the DMOZ directory, and when sites actually get into this, it means that they all have a little bit of extra clout getting a link from this page. So as we're going back here, if you see that there's not too many people in the DMOZ directory, that's one less thing you have to worry about having to do. This shows you if someone's in the Yahoo directory, and then you've got, you know, is the keyword phrase in the title tag? No, it's not. Look at that. These sites are ranking, and they don't even have the keyword phrase baby knitting patterns in their title tag. Now the other one is the keyword in the description? No, 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 all the way across the board. Is the keyword in the URL? Is the keyword in the URL? No, none of these have that. And if you do use the keyword in the URL, that's going to give you a definite boost in your potential ranking. So, and then we have, of course, is the keyword in the header, which is the header tag in the first, usually the first part, which is like the opening. It's the opening, the first title heading underneath the title of your article. That usually is your H1 tag. And as you can see, not too many of them have the baby knitting patterns in their title tag. So as you can see, this really gives you a much more sophisticated view of what your competition is really like and how difficult it may be to get a top listing without having to get backlinks. And I think that's what really a lot of people are looking at, is that they're really concerned with, oh, do I have to do all this extra work, or can I just put up a page and then just rank for this page? Well, a lot of the times you can't. As you can see, if your site doesn't have any clout in Google, any sort of page rank, as we can see, there's this one site here which is brand new. We can see it's a brand new age domain. It only has 307 pages linking to the domain itself. There are 0 pages, basically, the number of links indexed, backlinks outside the domain. This is a very important number. So someone can have backlinks to a page, but those backlinks to the page could be coming from other internal pages on their site. But as you can see, there are 0 pages that are actually 0 backlinks to this page that are coming from outside the site. So this actually shows me that a site with very little clout and getting minimal backlinks or structuring your page properly can actually rank for baby knitting patterns. Okay, so that's why it's important to look at this page, because the KEI is such a skin level deep number that you really can't count on that per se to make a judgment call. You sometimes need to look at this extra information by doing your SEO stress test, and that's why we created this tool so that you have all this data at your fingertips to look at, because the big problem with the KEI is it only looks at one singular number against another singular number, and that doesn't necessarily show us that it doesn't take all these other factors into consideration. And I'm sure you can see there's a bunch of other factors that should be considered here. So I'm hoping that answers your questions, and if you do have any sort of follow-up, please let us know. Going to, let's see, going through the list of questions here to make sure I got every one of them answered. Okay. So yes, Lewis, KEI is a very first pass look at a keyword. So, and see, the thing is like I say, we just took a look at baby knitting patterns, and we may have actually said this is no way a keyword I can rank for. But as we can see here, this one site here, okay, I don't know who the person is, Beverliss, who is the owner of this site, because this information is coming from Alexa. If we go to, you can freely get this information, but we make sure to put it up. But as you can see here, you can just type in any site name, you know, like say we type in GoDaddy, and we can get information about GoDaddy, and we can get their details right here. And as we can see, they have a traffic rank of 37,000 in the U.S., and we can find out usually also who the contact info is. We can see GoDaddy.com is in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that's where all this data is coming from, and we just automatically include this within every stress test search. So as you can see here, we have spotted this one site only has a page rank of 1, which is not that high. You can really sniff. You can almost sneeze and get a page rank 2 or 3 by just getting some articles and backlinks to a site. And we can see that it's not an age domain. It's only brand new, probably just registered this year. All these other domains are very high. You know, they're 4 years or older. Okay, the more aged a domain is, the harder it's going to be to try and top a site, get into the top 1, 2, or 3. But as we can see, this site here is in the top 5 for baby knitting patterns, and it's not that old. It doesn't have any backlinks from an outside page, and there's no way we can get that information just by looking at the KEI, because KEI is a very, very slim look at just a comparison between the search count and the number of competing web pages that have the keyword in the title tag. So hopefully that answers your question on that. Alexa backlinks. Now, here's the thing. We include that data, but again, if we see sites linking in here to GoDaddy, that is the Alexa backlinks. That means that Alexa, and that's only Alexa, this is an Amazon.com company, Alexa is reporting 77 sites linking in. Now this could be a lot more, this could be a lot more, say from our search here. See, we give you a breakdown of the backlinks to the page, how many backlinks there are to the page, and then you see it's a smaller number, which is the backlinks to the page outside the domain, which are going to be less. Okay, there are 487 here and there's 484 here. That means most of the links to this particular page right here, this page right here, this is an actual internal page of a site. There are 487 pages to that 487 backlinks to that page, and then there's 484 that are coming from outside the domain. So you have certain sites here where there's 16 backlinks to the page. There's only 0 coming from outside the domain. That means that there are 16 internal links within the site that are actually pointing to this page right here. And if we click this, we can take a look at what the page looks like. Okay, we can see it's a page rank 1, and we can see up here Knitting Books Baby. That's their title tag. They don't have it in there, but they do have baby. Let's see where they're. See, they're using the keyword phrase right here. So this page is really not even, I would say, linking, or it's not even focused on baby knitting patterns because they don't even have it up here in the title tag. And if they did put their, if they changed their title tag here to include baby knitting patterns, I can guarantee you that they would go from this number 5 position. Okay, they would probably go up to like number 3 just by including the keyword in the title tag. That's how important that title tag is, because if you take a look here, baby knitting patterns, basically you see here those sites that are using baby knitting patterns up, like this site right here is using baby knitting patterns in their title tag. That this shows keyword prominence. This right here shows keyword prominence, and that's why you want to make sure to craft each particular page around a keyword phrase or 2 and no more. Okay, so as you can see, this particular page is ranking, number 5. It would probably move up to number 3 if they've used that keyword tag in their title tag, which is up at the top. So as you can see, this kind of Alexa backlinks doesn't really show us much. It shows 77 sites linking in. And let's take, for instance, the actual page itself. Let's use this site to see how many backlinks Alexa is showing for this particular site. So okay, we see 73 sites linking in. Okay, but if we go look at, let's go ahead and get the details. Okay, we see 73 sites linking in. Okay, we can see the Alexa traffic rank is not that high. There's 311,000 other sites that are ranking above it. But if we see 73 sites linking in and we go take a look at what we're getting from nichebot, we can see there's 307 backlinks to the domain itself, whereas Alexa is only picking up 73. So it's a little bit, it's different data. Alexa is only getting picking up 73 actual sites linking in. Now, one of the things we can do with this is we can click on this and actually do some reconnaissance. We can actually see what are the sites linking to them, because we may want to contact some of these sites to find out if they would be willing to do content exchange or that sort of thing with us. And but if we take a look at going back to the data here on nichebot, we see there's 307 sites that are being picked up from Yahoo and Google on an average. So what that means is Alexa's not really getting all 307 that are picked up here by nichebot. So we do show the Alexa backlinks. Where are they? Right here. Because it gives you a sort of a feeling as to, it gives you another set of numbers so that you can take a look at, is this going to be, because obviously Alexa shows less numbers than the actual figures coming from Yahoo, and the averages from Yahoo and Google. But it sort of gives you a sort of relative nature, basically. even though it's weird, there's 5,000 here and there's only 186 here. There's 28.6 here and 544 here. And I guess it's sort of relative to the number, as you can see. There's 53 here. And you can see the you can see the colors here. When you see a lot of gold, okay, that means that it could be a golden keyword. So that you're seeing a lot of gold. When you see the blue, the light blue, it's sort of getting ice cold. And when you see the purple, it's pretty. You've got a basic bruiser of a keyword, but we don't see that much purple here. Okay, and if you think of purple like a purple bruise, usually after a couple of days. You know, that's kind of a keyword you want to maybe stay away from. When you're getting the light blue, you're getting sort of ice cold on that keyword. But when you got a lot of gold like this, that means you definitely have a chance, and you want to take a look and be open when you see these kind of pages that have a domain that's got 0 age. It's in its first year. It doesn't have any backlinks to the page. That means you can possibly creep in on this page if you do your internal linking structure well on your site. So as you can see, again, the Alexa backlinks are sort of relative to how many backlinks come from this other line. That's why we put these two next to each other so you can see a sort of relative count. And usually if you see these sort of towards the lower end of 50 to 100, you're going to have an easier time ranking for this keyword and sneaking in like this one on the number 5 spot. So hopefully that made sense to you. And it looks like we are coming up on our 1 hour, and I do have another show coming up at 4 o'clock in the next 3 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and close out this session of the nichebot live call-in show. So I'm going to roll the wrap up. I want to thank everyone for submitting their questions and getting involved in their success. And every week, Wednesday, actually at 3 p.m., we have changed it over from 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want to tune in here every week to overcome your obstacles and start having more and more breakthroughs. As you get more into the information, and as we've shown in analyzing the data over at nichebot, so that you can see how the KEI is not necessarily your most a number you should necessarily depend on. You should actually take a look at other factors. Also review the quick start guide for proper foundation, and incorporate one way of building backlinks to your site. Just go ahead and, like I said, go ahead and we're going to go back real quick. I just wanted to make sure to show you here. We're going to go to a Google page real quick and go ahead and type in how to build backlinks 2009. And as you can see here, there is, here we go. Best way, the number 4 spot, how to build backlinks. Oh, this may not be the one. Okay, here's a good article on how to build backlinks. You want to take a look at this. Actually, this is not the one I'm looking for again. Looks like it's probably this link right here. Hopefully this page will learn, which will load. I apologize. It looks like it's blank. Ah, here it is. My apology. It's 69 ways to build backlinks right here. This is the one. It's got a number of different ways for you to build backlinks, and but it's got a great list of ways that you can go about building different backlinks so that you can get a flavor for, blog about Twitter, make an article about Dig. There's so many different things. Here's some covert tactics. Here's some 5-minute changes. So you really get a good flavor of different ways that you can build backlinks, and there's a number of other different articles out there that talk about. There's another one I know of that's actually even got 180 different ways, and this is important. Just find one way and master that. Very, very important. And then you want to jot down your questions and save them for each week's show, because there's times you're going to be caught in the middle of your research, you're going to be caught in the middle of doing your analysis, and you want to ask a question. You may not have, it may not be Wednesday at 3 p.m., so you want to make sure to go ahead and jot down your questions and save them for the show. And decide whether you're going to wish to share your URL with the group. Sometimes people like to keep things private. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But the more you can reveal, the easier it will be for me to help you. And that's what I'm here to do. You want to make sure to explain your situation in detail with specifics, so really I can go ahead and envision the problem. Because if things are sort of like general questions, I can only give you a general answer. Make sense? The more information you give me in return, the more clarity I can give you back in return. And that's what I'm here to do, is help you move forward. So on that note, I want to thank you for showing up for your success on today's show. And make sure to tune in each and every week to gain more and more clarity and have the breakthroughs that you deserve to have. There's no reason anyone in their right mind should have to suffer like I did for 4 years not getting the help I did and had to figure this all out on my own. That's what I'm here for, to help pave the way for you. On that note, we'll make sure to see you here back next week on the Nichebot Live Calling Show. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.